all these confessions, all these issues pouring out of various people. Where were they for 16 years? The point I'm trying to make is that it is for the BJP to tell us why they let Peter Bleach go. Why was he allowed to leave the country? Why was a presidential pardon given to him in 2004, early 2004? Why did he not stay here? Why did he not blow the whistle then?
Is that the issue?
These are the questions that, yes, it is the issue.
It's a bigger issue than how the plane came in and why arms were dropped and who was behind it and whether RAW and MI5 were together with it and an MP took Kim Davy out of India. It's a bigger issue than that.
No, Mr. Bleach would have answered it in a court of law in India. He was imprisoned in India. You know, he's sitting in London now and he's saying things to which I have no answer. You know, I was watching Mr. Dutt on your program and he was denying it. It is not for me to answer these questions. It is for government to answer these questions.
You on behalf of the government,
Congress, I would like to say, I would like to flag two issues. One is, why is this coming up after 16 years? And number two, why did he not stay on in India and expose whatever needed to be exposed at that point of time? Why did the BJP let him go? My question is to the BJP.
Mr. Bleach, you want to answer before I go to Mr. Karat? Yes, Mr. Bleach, you want to answer. Jayanthi Natarajan, Congress spokesperson. I asked you that question as well. Where were you all these years? Why did you not turn approver when you were in India? Why did you not reveal all of this, that the Indian government was involved in dropping arms over its own people in the state of West Bengal?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. And to a certain extent, I agree with the Honourable Lady there. Yes, it is 16 years. Can I just point out, with the greatest respect, that I have been saying this for the past 16 years. I was saying this in India. Nobody wanted to listen. None of the news channels, none of the journalists. Everything was just swallowing what was coming out from the centre. Now, I was always prepared to talk to the court. If I have a regret in this whole thing, it is that I have not had the chance to stand before a High Court judge in Kolkata and tell this whole story from beginning to end, because I would still like to do that. But I was rushed out of India before I could talk to anybody. Let me just point out to you that I was only released because Mr. Nurulam Chowdhury of the Kolkata High Court called me before his bench to hear my appeal. And I was going to tell the full story then, but I got out of the country very, very quickly. And I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody. So I appreciate what the Honourable Lady is saying, and she's quite right. But let me just say that I have been trying to say this for years. It's just that nobody has wanted to listen to me.
Well, you know, there are so many questions here tonight. But, you know, I don't want this issue to get political. But then there is a political angle. The political angle, Ms. Karat, is a possible angle of political treachery, of allowing or encouraging an insurrection against your own people by involving foreign powers and foreign intelligence agencies. This is, if it is true, this is not just terrible, it is hideous and unacceptable. Ms. Karat, your response to the initial comments of Jayanthi Natarajan.
Well, first of all, Arnab, may I congratulate you for this excellent program and the startling disclosures. Better late than, you know, it could have been done earlier. Nobody did it, and you have, and I congratulate you on your channel for this. I believe that the politics of this is very, very important. What is it that can drive a government or an intelligence agency to be complicit in a crime of this nature? It is clearly politics. It is the anti-communist nature of the politics that they believe that they could do commit such a crime precisely because they wanted to destabilize a communist government. And if we go by what Mr. Kim Davy has been telling you, they did this, or they tried to do this also in Tripura against the communist government there. So obviously the anti-communist nature of this entire political conspiracy involving international agencies and a section of the government of India, I believe is a crime against Indian people, it's a crime against Indian democracy, and it requires explanations. This is not just the people of West Bengal. I mean, tomorrow, Kerala has a communist government. People of Kerala have elected a communist government. We saw what happened in 1957 against the EMS government. I'm sure there were a lot of international agencies involved there too. So the issue here is the fig leaf of democracy gets completely rendered when you have this kind of a plot and a conspiracy. Therefore, the importance of explanations, the importance to understand through the new revelations which have been made on your program, what was the exact role? Did in fact an Indian intelligence agency participate directly in this conspiracy? This is something which we need to know.
I want Ms. Natarajan to respond, but yes, Niels, you have to add something briefly. Yes, please.
Yes. In 2 days' time, it will be the 29th anniversary for the lynching of 17 monks and nuns in Bijon Setu in Calcutta. I am afraid that what we are entering now is this political bickering which leaves out the poor people of India, and it leaves out the bottom of this question. The bottom of this question.
Niels, I know you have views. Now you see, one point is here. My question is
explain to this gentleman what the Constitution of India says. And this is a person who should be extradited to India. We want him in India and in an Indian jail to answer questions to the Indian authorities. Why has the government of India, and let Jayanthi answer that question, why has the government of India utterly failed to ensure the extradition of Kim Davy, a criminal who was directly involved in the conspiracy against the people of West Bengal? Why is he not here in
We want disclosure tonight.
This is something which the government of India has to tell us.
Ms. Natarajan, the disclosure is this, and I just want to add one thing before I come to you. Under the Right to Information Act, which we all respect, uphold, and we hope the RTI gives us the sensitive information so we know, people have made applications, and the applications have been rejected, saying this is super sensitive, secret material, we cannot tell you. How can you do that 16 years after this event? You have to declassify those documents, you have to put them out in public debate tonight. You cannot hide those documents in government lockers in North and South Block anymore, Ms. Natarajan. I want your position on that as well.
Well, my position on that, this government, I would like to repeat, I'm not the spokesperson for the government. It is for the government and for the RTI Commissioner, the Chief Information Commissioner, to take a view on it. But the point of, the fact of the matter is, notwithstanding what Brinda is saying, this is, as Mr. Bleach was pointing out, 16 years old. And I went through the records after seeing your program. I went through the records of earlier years. I went through what happened in 2004. And it's absolutely right. He was saying it even then. I didn't hear any voices from West Bengal saying all these things at that point of time. You know, I did not hear people raising these issues at that. No, I was certainly looking at the records. They're not on records. I could not find it on any record.
Please look at Parliament record, Jayanthi. Jayanthi, please look at Parliament records.
But please let me. But please let me finish. The fact of the matter is, right now when we are talking, whether the information should be made available and whether it's a plot to destabilize the government of West Bengal is a question for the government to answer.
Well, the government has not answered a single line today. We haven't got a single line response from the government so far. The government is not. The government will answer as and when it is appropriate for the government. As and when? I mean, this is an allegation of political treachery of the involvement of a central government in supporting an insurrection in another state.
I can keep on interrupting you, Arnab. I can keep on interrupting you, or I can remain silent.
This is how patient can one be on this?
Whether you want answers. Okay, then I'll just remain silent. If you don't really want answers to any of the questions that you've raised, if you just want a Congress voice here to say that there's a Congress voice so that you can allow Peter Bleach and Kim Davy and Brinda Karat to abuse the Congress and the government, I'm perfectly happy to sit here and look at the television.
But I'm not abusing Congress.
No, 1 second.
I'm not abusing Congress.
May I come in with a point here?
1 second. Jayanthi, first of all, I want to tell you, I want you to make your complete point of view.
First of all, you haven't allowed me to complete.
I asked you one question, actually. I asked you one...
And what was that question?
My question was that, what is your view on the... You know, we only will know the truth if you declassify those documents, you see. Those documents are being kept away from the people.
I'm saying that just because this program is being aired on Times Now today, you know, that somebody, Mr. Bleach and Mr. Davies and whoever else it is, has chosen to speak out today, or whenever you interviewed them and whenever you've chosen to air it, I am not the person to declassify the documents. I don't speak for the government. These are matters of state. It is for government to decide.
Point taken.
And therefore, these are not decided in a television studio. I'm rather surprised that you should expect me to answer that question, Arnab, but it seems to have a political slant, as if the Congress party can possibly take a view on this during a television program. I'm afraid that's just not possible.
Jayanthi,
that is not possible. It is a stand which government has to take.
No, may I ask a question here to Jayanthi?
One second. I just want to say one thing, Ms. Natarajan, to you. I politely submit to you that I take umbrage at what you have suggested. We have also asked the BJP today, and I want to place on record, Ms. Natarajan, also for you and our viewers. We asked the BJP to send a representative. The representative is not here tonight for whatever reasons. We wanted to ask the BJP representative. How can they ask the Congress questions when they let Peter Bleach out in circumstance? And they also were in a rush to let Peter Bleach out, like a previous government allegedly was in a rush to let Kim Davy out. You rush only when you have something to hide. But my question is now, I want to go to K Doval, former Intelligence Bureau Chief. Mr. Doval, tell me, you said today it is impossible to believe that anybody could, use covert means, for political ends in India, and you refuse to believe that Kim Davy, who is on air with you tonight, could have been helped by intelligence officials and politicians to flee from India. You've heard them tonight. May I ask you, on what concrete substance you come to that conclusion?
Well, let me first reconstruct what we are talking. What Kim Davy is telling is that there was a conspiracy by central government in Delhi to get the weapons from outside sources through Pakistan, get them airdropped in West Bengal, thereby create a lawlessness and a mayhem and killing of people, which will enable them to impose president's rule there. Now, I'll say it is totally atrocious and unthinkable, and the very fact that we are talking and we are indulging in this debate on this point, I think shows our utter lack of understanding of Indian democratic politics.
Well, our politics has got thousand failings,
but it is not the violence, it is not the covert action, it is not action through coercive means to compel your political adversaries. Secondly, yes, they used various undesirable methods to impose president's rule, but it is not required to para-drop the weapons and in this form and thereafter create innocent killings. And thinking that the Indian intelligence agencies will ever be party to that, I think is the biggest insult to the Indian intelligence agencies. They will never be a party to it.
Absolutely.
Indian intelligence agencies will ever be party to that, I think is the biggest insult to the Indian intelligence agencies. They will never be a party to it.
Absolutely.
Neither anybody will ever tell them to do that. Now, there is a second part of it. Who is telling it and on what evidence? Now, here, Kim Davy is telling it that he was allowed to escape from Mumbai. How did he come to Mumbai? The plane did not land in Mumbai. It was a MiG-21 aircraft which force landed it. No. How did anybody know that where will it force land? It could have been actually in Chennai. That was the place. When it was noted on the radar, they were force landed there. At that point of time, nobody in Mumbai would be knowing, and nobody knew that who was inside the plane. Why did he jump out of the plane? And after all, it was the immigration people who said that you had the manifest of 7 passengers.
Right.
Only 6 are accounted for.
Right. Niels, respond.
Let us just get...
Niels, alias Kim Davy, respond to what Mr. Doval is saying.
I have never...
Okay, yes, now you see...
I have never made the claim that Congress intended to introduce presidential rule. It is beyond my understanding. I have evidence to prove that there was central interest in this. What the political motives were, I do not know.
Can I just make a point here?
When Jogendra Singh today, hold on. When Jogendra Singh today says that he was stopped by politicians to investigate this case, I am not pointing any fingers at the Indian intelligence community in that case, because they were stopped by politicians. And the last point I like to make, please.
Let him make his